and welcome back to my channel. I'm so excited to have you here today. I'm Natasha Graziano, and I am going to be diving in today on how you can build a powerful and successful podcast from scratch, how you can make it optimized at the highest level, gain huge visibility, and grow it as quickly as possible. Sound good? Let's dive in.
The #1 motivational speaker under 40 in the world. Got 1 billion views.
Okay, so I started my podcast around 3 years ago, and it's now #3 on Apple Top Shows. It's often at #3 on Apple Top Shows on education, top shows. It's awesome. But that's not where it began. I did that in such a small amount of time, and I want to show you how you too can build to that level super fast. We do not like the waiting game. If you like me, you're gonna love this, because I'm gonna show you exactly step by step what you need to do. Let's dive in deep. #1, when I started, I created so much content in advance. So this is literally my story. Can I share this with you? It's so interesting. So I had an Instagram page, loads of followers on there. I think at the time I had like 1 million followers, not as many as I have today, but had like 1 million followers on there. And I would reach out to people that I wanted on my show. And I remember reaching out to this lovely friend of mine now called Dave Meltzer. And I said, hey Dave, you know, you're really renowned, you're big in the sports world, you know, you're in TV. I would love to have you on my show. What show? I didn't even have a show, you guys. I didn't even actually have a show at that time, but I invited him on my show, which would be broadcast out to my Instagram followers and to my YouTube followers. So I was like, let me invite him on, and then I'll call it a podcast, I guess, because we're talking and it's, you know, we're just doing it. And that's what a podcast is. Let's just have a conversation and let's share it with the world. So as I reached out to him, I sent him a DM, and I'm walking you through everything that I did. I left a voice note. Hey Dave, would love to bring you on my channel. My name's Natasha, and I've got, as you can see, 1 million followers here on Instagram, and I'd love to put you on my show. My audience will adore you. We'll have a conversation around, and then you talk about the topics of whatever that person's good at. We'll talk around X, Y, and Z, and it will link into my page as a mindset coach because of X, Y, Z. Let me know if you're up for it, and we'll jump on Zoom next week. He gets back to me, hey Natasha, I'm up for it. We jump on Zoom, we do an hour together. I put that out on my Instagram at the time and a clip on my YouTube. And then from there, the next person said yes. And then the next person said yes. And I just voice noted hundreds of people all the time, and people started to say yes. I mean, how cool is that? They just literally started flooding in because I started to connect with people. So #1, connect with people. Reach out to people, okay? We haven't even got to how you even start the podcast yet, because this is the pre-part that people do not share with you. This is the stuff which nobody shares with you. The stuff which is like, oh boy, if only I'd known that. I really want to do that. This is the stuff which you really want to know and learn, but you have no idea who you're gonna learn from. I'm sharing with you. This is the real details of what goes on. Always offer more value to them than you're asking for. So whatever you're doing, let them know you wanna promote their product on your platform or community. So okay, if you're sitting there thinking right now, but Natasha, I don't have 1 million followers. I don't have 11 million followers or 17 million followers. Maybe you don't even have 1,000. That's okay, because you like me, that's where I started. I started in that same place. I didn't have many before I had the 1 million, and I was still doing other things before this, and I still did okay. Now, what you will do though is recognize where you do have an audience. Maybe you have a mums group on YouTube, on Facebook. Maybe you have a community that you meet with every Sunday. It doesn't matter whether it's 1,000 people or 10,000 people or millions of people. If you have an audience, that is valuable to somebody else. If one of you messaged me today, if you messaged me and you said, Natasha, will you come on my platform, and I have a Zoom meeting with 500 people every month, and I would love for you to talk, like, chances are I'd say yeah. I'd actually come through. Why? Because I'm gonna reach an audience I was never reaching before. I'm reaching your audience. I'm getting the opportunity to connect with somebody and meet new people. that isn't my audience, I reach others. That's so beneficial to me. So that's a really good thing. Remember that one. Okay, let's now go into the content part. When it comes to a podcast, you want to get it all in the bag. I'd filmed 150 episodes, which we'd started to, drip drab out onto the Instagram and YouTube. And we started to put pieces out with each person, each of the guests. I put that out on my Instagram a year and a half before the show began. My actual show that you see now, my Law of Attraction podcast, which is connected to this YouTube channel where we put every week on a Wednesday, we put up the videos of me with my guest. That actually only started less than a year ago. And that's the one that went to number 3 on Apple Shows for Education. And how did it do that? And how does it often do that every week? Because I understand the hacks. And I know you want to understand the hacks. So I'm going to dive in and tell you those right now. Okay, so film your content. Make sure that you get all the content in the bag. You don't have to do 150 episodes, but at least do content for the next 2 months. Because if you have content ready, in the bag, filmed, that means you're organized. You can put that content onto your page in advance, upload it through Anchor. We'll go into that in a bit of how to actually create the podcast. You have it ready. So now when you begin, all you have to do is press upload in advance and it's done. There's so many simple hacks to this, but get your content in the bag. Don't get to that place where you're like, on a Monday night, oh my God, it's going out on Tuesday morning and I haven't filmed anything. What am I getting? No, honey, that is so disorganized. You want to be organized. You want to be on the ball. Like every Tuesday and Saturday I'm going to post. I know the 2 days I'm going to post or the 1 time a week I'm going to post. And that content needs to be pre-prepared and organized. Like it? Get organized, because if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. That was from the movie King Richard. And I love it. I love that quote. Don't forget to plan. Okay, let's move into how to actually set up a podcast. So the first thing that you want to think about when you're doing a podcast is, what is your title? Who's your audience? Reverse engineer it. So what is the message you want to put out there in the world? Pause this video right now and write down 3 things that you want to put out there in the world. So that might be something like, I want to help people benefit their life. I want to help people improve their health. I want to help people become a more successful entrepreneur. I want to help mums become an entrepreneur from home. Whatever it might be, whatever the thing is for you, okay? Underneath that, you want to work out potential titles for your podcast. So something catchy, something engaging. Really long ones are the hardest ones to keep up with. You want something punchy. You want something out there. Think of the top podcasts. They're usually somebody's name or they're a really short, catchy phrase. Mine, the Law of Attraction podcast. There's other people's which are mind creators. Things which are 2-3 words, those kind of things are really catchy and really easy to do. So think about something that represents your 3 things you want to put out there. What are those titles? Pause the video and write those down right now too. You're back? Let's dive in deeper now. Now we've got to think about, when are you going to post? Well, the optimal times for posting change all the time, but mornings tend to be when the top podcasts are going out. So you want to follow the likes of a podcast that you are already interested in. How often do they post? When do they post? So we put ours up 3 times a week, on a Monday, a Wednesday, and a Saturday. Those are the days. On a Monday, we do Monday motivation. On a Wednesday, I have a guest on. And on a Saturday, it's a Saturday meditation. And so we put them up at 8 a.m. Eastern time, which tends to be right in between all the time zones, super early, perfect time for most people to listen on their way to work, before work, in the morning. Mornings tend to be when people listen to podcasts, we find the most. When we've done evening shows, they also get great engagement, but mornings tend to be even better. After work on a Friday is also a really juicy time to put one up. People want to relax. Saturday mornings are great, and Sundays. So choose how often you're going to post. You don't have to post more than once a week. we post multiple times because we have so much content and we just have so much to share with the world. And honey, I'm trying to reach 1 billion people out here. So, we've had over 100 million views on all of my shows, between the podcast and the show itself that I used on Instagram. So we're trying to up that, to 1 billion people. So my message to you is do what you can do. Don't try and be second place to somebody else. Be first place to yourself. And if you've listened to any of my other videos on mindset and how you can set your mind up for success like that, then you will know you only ever are first place to yourself. You don't ever want to be second place to somebody else. You want to be number 1 to you. Okay? So what works for you? How often can you realistically post? Remember, you're going to pre-record it, which nobody really lets you know. So you need to pre-record it 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 weeks in advance, and then you put it out. So creation is everything. Content creation is everything. Pre-record and know what you're going to do. The next part is to plan your whole month ahead. So let's say you're posting once a week, you're posting on a Thursday morning at 8 a.m. Eastern, and you are going to be sharing about how to become a successful entrepreneur. And you have your own take on it. That's the whole reason it's going to be successful, because you're a little bit different to the next guy, the next gal, and you have a cool message. Okay, we got that all clear. We know what it is. We got your title. We know exactly the message you want to get out there in the world. Now let's plan your content for the month. So are you going to do solo episodes? We'll go into that stuff in a second. So we haven't even got to the equipment yet, by the way. We're coming to that. But we need to understand first and foremost what it is you're putting up, so you know. So I'll play your role here of your content manager. Okay, so I'm sitting with you. So, John, what are you going to put up on Thursday next week? Well, Natasha, I want to share 5 tips on how to start your day right, setting yourself up for success. Great. That's a solo episode, John? Yes, it is. Amazing. Let's go in. So now you go and sit down and you set out some time to record that episode. But we don't just do 1 at a time. We do 4 at a time. So what you're going to do is you're going to do that episode for Thursday, your 5 steps to becoming a successful entrepreneur, your 5 tips. And then I'm saying to you, what are you posting next Thursday? And then you'll tell me the title for that or the idea for that. Great, let's sit down and do that as well. So now you'll do all 4 episodes that you're going to post for the whole month in 1 day. You'll sit down, you'll block out 4 hours in your diary, podcast recording time. And then you'll either get a team to do it for you if you're somebody like me who just needs somebody else to help you with all the intricacies, or like when I started, it was all on my own. I literally got my phone, set it up on a stand like this, and I put it on a tripod in front of me, and I actually had it that way so I could have the camera facing me. I'd run around on the camera, I'd press play, and then I'd run back around, sit down. Hey, welcome to my channel, and I'd just start talking and just start flowing. And that's literally how it began. A tripod and an iPhone. As simple as that. I would also make sure that I had amazing lighting. We're gonna come into all of that stuff in a second, but this is how you plan. So you plan ahead. At least 4 weeks in advance, I would say go 8. So you're gonna film once every 2 weeks, and you're gonna have content for days. You wanna be ahead. You want more content than less, otherwise you'll be in that panic, freak out mode, or worse. You'll get to that point where all your content's been posted. It's going so well. You're actually building an audience. You've actually got people listening. And then the dreaded moment, I'm running out of content. So I missed a week. Ooh, whoops, I missed 2 weeks. And all of a sudden, your audience starts to dwindle. And you wonder why they dwindle. Because they're there for you. They want to show up for you to listen because they find you interesting. But now you're not showing up because you disappeared for 2 weeks, and they're like, where's he gone? I want to hear him. So you need to focus and have that content keep going, keep going, keep going. Set out that time that you're going to record once a month for 4 hours. That's all it takes. If you want to do a base level, that's all it takes. Now you've got to decide how long those episodes are. So we've decided 3 of them are solo episodes and 1's with a guest. Great. You're gonna outreach to all the guests, like I told you before, of who you wanna get on that show, get them in the bag, film them on Zoom, or do it in person, even better if you wanna up the ante. We'll do a whole different video on in-person recording if you want. Somebody want that? Write it in the chat if you want that. If you want me to do a whole structure on how to film with a guest. But let's go to the where we are now, the solo episodes. When you're filming a solo episode, you could do anything between 7 minutes to an hour. Both are popular. I find with mine personally, my 7 to 15 minute shows are the most watched out of anything because people's attention span is so much less in today's world because we live in a digital era. So I would really, give yourself grace and don't tire yourself out. Don't feel bad if you only do 10 minutes. That's amazing. You should keep the same number though throughout the show so people know, oh, this is like, I'm gonna get my kick. I'm gonna get my fix with Jason every Thursday morning at 8 a.m. I know that I'm getting that Jason fix. Or maybe you're Matilda who does a 1 hour long episode. Or Sarah who does 45 minutes every week. People wanna know how long they're listening for and they kind of get used to that, then they get hooked for that. So know how long you're filming for. So now we got the filming time. We understand it. We planned our episodes. Let's go into the setup of how to film an amazing podcast. Okay, let's dive into how to set up a beautiful podcast. So what you do is, first of all, you can go one of two ways. You can spend a fortune on this, or you can get the same result by spending literally under $100. How do you do this? You get your phone, you set it up like this, use 4K because it's the best, and then you get a tripod. So you buy a tripod on Amazon, just a 3-legged tripod. You stick it right here like this. I'll put a link below for a couple of things that I find really useful. This is how I began. And then you put your phone on your tripod, you put it a couple of meters away from you, and then you set yourself up in a place in your house or a studio. Find somewhere that's aesthetically appealing. Like you don't want to have chaos all behind you. You don't want to have like clothes all behind you and crazy stuff. You just want to have a nice, clean, beautiful background. Something really plain, something really easy, something that looks nice, aesthetically appealing to look at. Plants are amazing. We love plants. Plain backdrops are great, white, black. You just don't want crazy things going on behind you too much. But everybody has their own setup and what they like. The next thing when you're filming is lighting and sound. So when it comes to filming, make sure that you do it when you don't have the dogs barking in the background or your little guy walking around saying mama or dada or whatever it is. Like when I'm filming, my little one runs in on set all the time. And it's like, it's funny. Sometimes you've probably seen him in my videos, right? That's Rio, yeah. Welcome to my world, mum life. And and that's okay. He comes in sometimes, but sometimes you're in a really serious talk with somebody and like it can, you want to make sure that you have that space for that time that you're filming. You know what I mean? So make sure there's no external noises and things going on. Try and film when it's just you there or less noise. There's no like cleaners in the background making loads of noise. And lighting. The ideal setting is to have the window facing you. Okay, so that is a window in front of me, right there, okay? I also have windows all around me. I'm basically like living in a glass house. So there's glass all around me, and that's cool. Lighting is good, but you don't sit with the window behind you. So if this was a window, that would be the worst setup ever because the light is completely the wrong way. That's how to do it without lighting. Now, if you want to go a bit further, still for under $100, you can buy on Amazon a ring light or just a normal light for filming. I'll put the link below to one that I tend to use. You can buy 1 or 2 of these and you can either have them one here, or just one right there behind the phone. And then if you want to go even further, you can get a hit record button so you can press record, a little remote to your phone with an app. You hit record, you start filming, you press stop. I just run around the camera personally myself. I literally find that so easy, but you can use a little remote as well. It's so easy in today's world to set up a podcast. It's as easy as that. One more thing, and the biggest thing of all. Your microphone. What mic are you using? We sometimes use these. Sometimes I have my Michael Jackson mic. It was recorded, that's where, Thriller was literally recorded on the microphone that I use. So you can use any level of mic. You can use one of these. Again, this is still under that $100 mark. It's so easy to get. And it's just a little lav mic, they call them a lavalier mic, and you clip it on and it goes all the way around the back, and you just have a little pocket at the back. It's so easy to do, beautiful. We also have here a boom mic, so it leans over and above me. Thank you. And then we also have other versions, so like I was saying, the Thriller mic that we use with an arm, and then we could do it on that. Now, if you're just beginning, you're like, whoa, what are all these mics? Just get yourself a stand-up mic like this that sits on the table in front of you, or if you prefer, you can have the arm. It doesn't matter. I'll put below the ones that I love in different price ranges so you can choose. And these are used by top podcasters all over the world. I've sat with some of the biggest podcasters, from Pat Flynn. I've been on shows, I mean, you guys know the kind of people and places that I've filmed with. And, you know, I've had guests which I would never even believe that would ever come on my show, who are now either friends of mine or I work with, from like Grant Cardone's been on, Damon John, Jesse Itzler, Kevin Harrington. I mean, the list is beautiful. It's amazing. If you watch Selling Sunset, Mary Fitzgerald, she's been on there. She's a friend of mine. Caroline DeMore from The Hills. I've had really wonderful people on there, and you build to that place. And I talk about this because I was that girl who literally didn't record with a mic with half these people. That's how it began. So if I can get to this space without all the bougie stuff and equipment, you can sure as anything get there too. It's as easy as that. So you've got the setup. Good lighting, the mic is really, really important. A lot of people use headphones. I've never used headphones. I literally have never used headphones, but when you wear headphones, you can really hear your voice. So your voice all of a sudden sounds like this. It's really ASMR, beautiful. So if you're into that, you can do that. It's actually really good to film with headphones. So if you know, it just depends if you want to. Again, we'll put some headphones below that my film guys use whenever we do the like pro level headphones, which aren't expensive. So you're able to get yourself a set of those, and you can put those on whilst you record, and you can just hear your voice. Let me just add a detail here as well. For somebody who's like, but Natasha, I thought it's a podcast. Why have we got to be on video? Because things exist today like YouTube and Spotify video. And if you get on those, you can go viral so much quicker because people can see who's behind the mask and who's behind the voice IRL, which means in real life if you're into NFTs. So you want to show who you are. You want to connect with people. Human connection is everything. Human connection is where they connect with you. But if you don't want to do video, then you can do everything I've just said. Take out the lighting, take out the backdrop, just be in a very quiet space with good acoustics where you can hear your voice nicely. Not too echoey, so it doesn't echo. We don't want that. And then choose yourself a nice mic, pair of headphones, laptop in front of you, and that's all you need. And that is how you begin if you're not going to do it with the video. So also, when you're deciding if you're going to do this as an audio only, you want to use an app or a feature on your laptop where you can record it, or your computer. Now, some people do it as easy as recording it onto their phone, literally onto the voice note feature. And they'll put it in front of them, and they'll connect their mic into here like this, and then they'll just talk, and they'll just do their entire thing directly onto their phone. That is the simplest and easiest and most cost-effective way to do it. And believe me, I did so many of my episodes like that, and you'd have no idea. If you want to step your game up a bit, you want to download something like Audacity, I'll put the link below, or GarageBand. That's where you can record live audio onto it. You can play with it, play with the sound, the effects, all those kind of things. And you can add in an intro and an outro onto it. So you can do your generic talk that you do at the beginning, or you can actually pre-record an intro for every show, like, hey, welcome back to the Natasha Graziano show. And today I am so excited. I've got a guest from XYZ coming on. It means the world that you listen to my show every week. Thank you so much for sharing this with the world and for spreading the love and light, whatever it might be. Keep it to like 15 to 30 seconds. We also add music underneath when we have an intro. This is a whole other video, actually. I think I should do something on this for you because intros and outros are so powerful, so don't forget that. But on that note, when you do it on Audacity and GarageBand, you can literally just record it and then go into press record again and dive into recording the actual podcast. So there really are two ways here of doing things. There's the video way and the audio, and I'm giving you both in one go because we tend to do both. So I'll hit the record, I'll have it on my phone, and I'll also have it on Audacity just for the voice version. There's so many different ways. It's so exciting once you dive in and do this. I'm gonna put a link right here on how you can use Audacity and how you can use GarageBand. I'm just gonna put them below so that you can dive into those softwares and see which one works best for you. Or you can do it on Zoom. You can literally plug your mic into Zoom and then record the video and just use the audio, or use both. Again, with Zoom, the quality is not gonna be great, so what I do is I go even further. When I'm on Zoom, okay, I then downloaded an app called Camo. And on Camo, you can use your phone as your camera. So you get to plug it into your laptop, no different to plugging in when you're charging it. You set it up on the tripod right in front of you, okay? And then you choose the camera and you choose Camo. You download the app on your phone and you download it on your laptop. I set it up, I choose the camera, I choose Camo, and I hit record. And then I just dive in. And then I'm on Zoom. And it's got the best quality because I'm using this. It's so good. So there's multiple different ways you can do it. Most cost effective, like I've explained, and then the other variations. The links are below for all of this stuff as well. So now I've gone through everything on how to build a successful podcast from scratch. I'm gonna drop one major tip on how you can grow your podcast today, how I have grown mine exponentially. And then I'm gonna do a whole nother video because I feel like this one's going on and I wanna just give the content in another video completely where it will be how to get those massive numbers on your podcast, how to go viral with a podcast. You wanna know that? Hit the next video. I'm literally gonna record it right after this for you so you understand. Okay, and here's the tip leading into that. When you have a guest on your show, that is how podcasts grow exponentially because you are now you're cross-pollinating your audiences. So you're getting their audience's reach. So whoever they reach, you're reaching. And whoever you reach, they're reaching. So what you do is you send them a clip of something you've recorded within the podcast. You just grab it, you watch it through, and you just find, oh, that's a great bit where he was talking around how to better your life using this one technique. Let me just get that, make it into a reel for Instagram, a vertical reel. You can also look at what platform they're on, but this tends to be the way that people do it in today's world. So we put it on a reel, which can be used on TikTok as well, TikTok or Instagram. You get that vertical reel, 1 minute of them speaking in their element, looking amazing, sounding amazing. And if you're just doing this on audio and not video, again, you can do that same technique without the video. You just get that clip, that 1 minute clip, amazing. And then you put a picture of you and them on top of it, or the picture of your podcast. And then you send it to them and you say, hey man, podcast is out on Thursday at 8 a.m. And on the day you send them the link to the podcast with their 1 minute reel and say, please post this to your audience. It would mean the world to me. Or I'm so excited for your audience to hear you sounding so incredible on our show. Here's the link, and off and away he goes. They then go post that to their audience, and then all of their audience comes and listens to your show. That is one of the most awesome and easy ways to grow your podcast, and it doesn't matter if they only have 5,000 people in their audience. You're reaching another 5,000 people. How much do you want to just get to even 2,000 downloads on your podcast right now? You'd love that, right? You'd love to have just 2,000 per episode. That'd be amazing. So that is the quickest way to do it. The next video, I'm going to dive in the real ways to go viral with a podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Thank you so much for spending this moment with me, learning how you too can have an epic and powerful podcast, reaching so many more people than you are now and setting it up in the right way. I've enjoyed going through these methods with you. Hit the like and subscribe button. If you want more of this content, go to the next video now where you're going to learn more on this topic. Thank you so much, and I'll see you soon.